Have you ever thought that maybe something that's cute and cuddly really has a secret agenda? Well, today we're going to be reviewing the Slothkin.
Welcome everyone to Homebrew Crew. I'm Sean, this is Tony, and today we're going to be looking at a special class that we actually built with some of the fine folks at Con+Alt+Del 2018.
Yeah, this was done as a group exercise at our panel at Con+Alt+Del.
Yeah. We basically, during our panel, we kind of took some suggestions from the crowd and asked them what kind of race they'd want to see, what kind of features they want to see in that, and we basically used all those suggestions and kind of created this. So this whole creation is basically made from, our audience.
Yeah, this was kind of like a viewer submission before there was any viewer submission stuff. But the Slothkin are very interesting little creatures. Mm-hmm. They're only about 2.5 feet tall. These guys, we asked what animal can we base this off of, because we kind of just started with it. And they said sloth. And we're like, okay, sloth. All right, let's do it.
Right, and when they first said that, I was already in my mind thinking, I don't know how we're going to do this.
But it proved that we could do it on the spot, which is kind of
exactly. So. Now, the cool thing to note is that even though this is called the Slothkin, it's really the sloth kind of using a different person as a host.
Yeah, in fact, the Slothkin kind of look at it as a means to an end. They see all other races as kind of beneath them, so to speak. I guess it would have to be if you're clinging on to them. It would be beneath.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so what they do is they're these telepathic little sloths that people ended up picking up because they're cute and furry, and as they pet them, they kind of take over the host's body. Which is neat. It takes some bonding time and all that. In fact, we were talking about the Slothkin and their names.
Right. And the funny thing is that, and you kind of mentioned this, how they're so slow to get the actual sloth names together that they kind of just go off of the
the parents just kind of go, they take too long to do it, and the kids don't ever take a name. They just, whatever the host name that they took, that becomes the name. Which
exactly.
But their ability scores are pretty interesting because they get 3 charisma, but then -2 to dexterity.
Yeah, which makes sense. Again, with the whole charisma thing, these are beings that are able to, manipulate and possess other people. You'll need the charisma to boot. The dexterity makes sense because it's a sloth. That's all I'm going to say.
Right.
So
they're not quick.
Yeah.
Right? In fact, that goes into their run speed. So to speak. They've got 5 feet of movement.
Yep, that's 5. As a sloth. When they're on their hosts, we round that up to 30. So if they've got a host, they've got 30. But it's kind of neat. In fact, if you go down with their alignment, it talks about them being mostly lawful evil, where most people think, oh, they're cute and fuzzy, but really they've got some secret plot to take over the world, which is great. Exactly.
But I think their main focus comes from their host synergy, and that's where they select whatever their host is going to be.
Yeah. So basically, they select a host, whether it be a human, dragonborn, a dwarf, whatever it is. They basically get to pick their host. You spend some time, kind of bonding with them, and now you're kind of hanging on to this humanoid.
Yeah.
And now you and this host are kind of like one entity now in a way.
Yeah, and there's specific traits that you get, and we did that for every single basic race in the player's handbook. Yeah. Except for one.
Oh, yeah. And you can probably guess which one that is.
The halfling one very quickly goes through that, and when you select it says, what, are you crazy? But you get -2 con, -2 int, and I don't know, the lucky trait it says. But each one gets a specific thing. Like you like Dragonborn.
Yeah, of course.
And it talks about them like they're used cars, which I think is kind of neat.
I know, sadly. I like the fact that, you don't get the whole encompass of the usual racial traits that you would get.
Right.
You get, a certain degree of them. And I think that kind of speaks up to the whole fact that, you can kind of jump between, hosts here. And, as the Slothkin, you're not becoming that race. You're just kind of borrowing them and renting them out for
so you don't get to use all of their nifty tricks.
Yeah,
exactly. Certain ones that you got.
Exactly.
In fact, you talked about swapping with a host or what have you, and that actually happens because the sloth can have you get a pet technically.
Right, yeah.
You actually have a commoner that you're riding on top of. When you get knocked with a critical hit, you get knocked off that commoner.
Mm-hmm. And that leaves the commoner completely vulnerable to dying at that point.
Right, and with 10 hit points, that's not really hard to do.
No, especially later levels. I mean, that thing will get wrecked easily if you're knocked off.
But luckily, you have this nifty little ability called Bonding Time, where you try to attach yourself to another host that's within 5 feet of you. The host makes a charisma save, which is 8 plus your charisma modifier plus your proficiency bonus. And if a failed save, they become your new host. You don't get any of their traits other than the 30 feet of movement until 3 days have
right.
Then you've got their ability.
I just love it because it kind of speaks back to like this Grand Theft Auto style of like running through different hosts and like, oh boy, this one's gonna grow.
Sloth just punches a guy, and throws him
get out of here, and then you hop on another one. And then it's nicely balanced because you have to spend those 3 long rests actually to get the other features.
Right. Yeah.
So you can't just constantly hop in between.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was something that I had to throw in there because when we were talking about it at the panel. It's like everybody wants to be able to do everything, and it's a cool idea. But now we've got it where we've,
exactly making it more playable and balanced.
Yeah. They do get 2 other abilities.
Yeah, some of the last abilities you get Enduring Charm. So as a bonus action, you can use this to cast Charm Person without expending a spell slot, and then you get this back after a long rest. Kind of makes sense along with the race itself.
And then Perfectly Still.
Yeah, so this one's great. So because sloths are so slow and they can basically look like they're not moving, you can add your proficiency bonus to stealth checks when attempting to hide.
Which goes great, by the way, with the Wood Elf host.
Exactly.
Which is neat because they get that...
yeah.
They do speak common and they speak telepathy. They're telepathic as well.
Yeah.
So that was kind of neat.
Makes sense, yeah.
But other than that, they're a cool race to check out. Again, you'll find this, it's called Slothkin CAD 2018, and it was based off of our Con+Alt+Del Elite.
Yeah, and I actually wanted to take the time for any of those that were there and are viewing this video. I wanted to thank you guys so much for helping us put this together. I didn't think we were going to do it, but we did, and it's actually really cool, and I'm proud of what we've created. If anyone else wants to try this class in your own homebrew campaign, please follow the link down below. Give this a shot. Give us some feedback if you think there needs to be any changes, or let us know what you like about it.
Especially on each of those hosts. Because if some of them are overcompensating, it's hard for us to do. We haven't really play tested this thing yet, which we will get to soon.
Hopefully soon,
we'll be streaming and play testing very soon.
Exactly.
If you guys like us, please like and subscribe down here in this little corner over there. You can also follow us on our Discord channel, which we will leave in the link below. That link changes every single time, so it's down there, but it is available. But, feel free to send us anything as well. dmbrewcrew@gmail.com. If you'd like to send us a class or a race, our inbox is getting kind of full, but we're very, very interested in seeing what you guys have created.
And remember, the best campaigns are always the ones that are homebrewed. So until next time, keep brewing.